Welcome back to the SevereMMA YouTube channel, and today I'm joined by John Mitchell, a man who I haven't spoke to now in I think it's around a year since we last spoke, John. So how are you getting on?
Yeah, absolutely flying it. It's good to be back. I think it has been about a year since we talked last.
Yeah, I think we talked, was it 2019? And then the last one we did was before, I think it was before your last Cage Warriors fight that we last spoke.
Oh,
But
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
so big news. We broke the story on SevereMMA that you're going to be taking on Konstantinos Ntelis at UAE Warriors 24 on Friday, October 29th. So you must be buzzing ahead of the fight, are you?
Yeah, like can't wait. Best camp ever. No injuries. Perfect.
Get all the cliches out right at the start of the interview.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's go.
Yeah. So
No,
look,
I can't wait to go. I'm really looking forward to it.
I do want to talk to you about the fight, but it's been a while since we last spoke, and I feel like your life has just changed immeasurably in the last year or so. So you're speaking to me live from Dubai as is. So, tell us where like you're in Dubai now. How did that all come about? You're living out there.
Yeah, so what it was my old fellow was living in Kuwait, which is close enough to Dubai, and I was done college and I was in Cork and the lockdown was happening and I was getting a bit sick of it and all that and COVID, and I got offered a job opportunity out over this side of the world and I just went out. I just to give it a go, just to see what the crack was, and I just fell in love with the place. I met some great guys out here. I met this guy that was my boxing coach when I was very, very young, and Hisham, and he showed me around the place, and just got offered a few more opportunities, got signed by MTK because of the sparring I was doing in the gyms, just got noticed, and next thing you know now, I'm living out here for a year.
Brilliant. I'm very jealous now, John. So what was the job opportunity that you got offered?
So I got offered a coaching job in a gym over here, and I was there for a while, but then I got offered different coaching jobs in a gym after I was here for a while, and now I'm a coach at the MTK gym out here.
Okay, brilliant. And so is that the MTK Strong gym, is it?
Yeah, that's the one, yeah.
And how did the signing with MTK come about in the end?
So I was sparring with Nir Aziz, who's a UFC fighter here, and he got them down to talk to me, and they've been talking to my management previously before that, and they're all connected, and then just got signed. I'm still actually in a joint contract with MTK and Alpha Fighter Management, so I'm still with both my management. You know what I mean? So we had a few mutuals in it, and then I just got signed as well, and then I have a great relationship with my manager now, Carl Keller. So yeah.
Brilliant. And so it's a bit of a dual management, is it? Between
the two it's the dual management, yeah.
Gotcha. And was there any, look, as an Irishman, was there any hesitations around signing with MTK, just given the, I guess, controversial nature? Or,
no.
Yeah, no. Okay, we'll move on. I wanted to talk to you about, there's been some brilliant stuff you've been putting up on Instagram lately, and there's two things that specifically I want to talk about. One, training with Conor McGregor. How, that must have been unbelievable. How was that?
I was unreal. It was unreal, man. I learned loads off him. Just his composure and how relaxed he was. He was a super nice lad as well. We'd proper, if you know about me in the gyms, I kind of spar at one speed, so we'd a really, really hard spar off each other. It was unreal, man. He was his advice he gave me was really good, and even just from watching him spar, what I noticed is he's very, very clever. He's always taking reads. I could really feel his experience in there, so it was really invaluable. And I got about 6,000 followers off being on his Instagram posts. Was the job.
Yeah, the red panty knife.
Oh, steak for dinner the whole week, I swear.
So when was that? Was that in the lead up to the second or the third Dustin Poirier fight?
Yeah. I think he was 7 weeks out from that at that point, and I think I was about 4 weeks out from my own fight over here. So it was perfect, because I was fighting a well-established kickboxer, so knowing I gained a lot of confidence from sparring one of the lads with the best hands in the game, then going into my own fights,
Of course. And how often was it multiple times that you were training with him or sparring with him, or how much work did you do with him in the end?
Just twice, but it was a mad week because so I just done training. My manager texted me saying, "Are you busy?" And I was like, "No." And then he was like, "Do you want to spar Conor McGregor there in an hour?" And I was like, "Fuck, yeah, go on." And then
I may as well, fine.
You know what I mean? The exact same thing happened, but I'd spar your man Thor. Do you know the mountain from Game of Thrones?
Yeah. Hafþór Björnsson. I was going to ask about him as well.
Oh, so like on the Friday, I think on the Friday I sparred Conor, on the Wednesday I sparred Thor, and the Friday I sparred Conor again. Like it was a mad week. Only in Dubai, like you wouldn't get
Yeah,
it done in Cork.
that's some
You know what I
sandwich.
mean?
The McGregor Thor McGregor.
Insane, insane. Like I
And
needed a full week off afterwards.
how did the rounds with Conor go?
Good, yeah, really good, man, really good. Like really happy with it. I learned loads off him and really good experience.
And like, so like it was sparring with someone like Conor. I imagine it was probably a big jump up to anyone you'd spar before, was it? Obviously, you said you're training with your main sparring partner is Munir Aziz at the moment, but I mean, prior to that, would you have sparred anyone near Conor's caliber previous to that?
So you know, like the thing about MMA is like all of us, even at the highest level, and that's something you learn when you spar these elite guys, is like we're the jack of all trades and masters of none, you know. So like I sparred like some really high level boxers, and you know, obviously their boxing just by being boxers is better. Like, and then I'd sparred like some really good jiu-jitsu guys, like elite black belts, and then I'd sparred like Craig Coakley in Ireland, even, you know what I mean. So I'd felt that level, but then Conor, what was so good about him is he was a mix of it all, you know what I mean. So like not the best of any facet I've ever sparred, but definitely like probably the best at mixing it all. You know what I mean? He's
The
and
total
very, very
package, I
clever. Like,
suppose.
yeah, and that's the thing, and that's what you see like the best guys in MMA do. Like you see George St. Pierre, the guys that can mix it the best are the best guys, really, aren't they? So it's
And
really interesting.
obviously, Conor's the biggest star the sport's ever seen, and a great businessman. So, like, did he have any words of wisdom for you, like when you're kind of talking about like you're a young pro only coming into the game, really, and starting to navigate your career? Did he have any words of wisdom for you?
No, he was just very encouraging, man. He was just very encouraging, and I felt like when we are talking to each other with similar mindsets, like they were asking me what I was thought of my opponent, and I just said fuck my opponent, you know, and he was kind of saying the same thing what he's like, so we kind of had I felt like we had the same approach to how we saw it, like, and you know, I think he thought like how I fight, like he saw I was very confident and stuff like that, and he'd good things to say, man. So it's really good.
And then going from sparring a UFC double champion, the greatest MMA fighter that's ever come out of Ireland, to then the next day going and fighting or sparring with Hafþór Björnsson, the mountain from Game of Thrones. What was that like?
Mad, like surreal, even a different type of nervous energy as well, because like say like Conor's an elite fighter, like Thor's just fucking massive, you know what I mean? So it was just different. That they both put hairs in your chest anyway.
Yeah, and like, were you going full tilt, or was it just a bit of play sparring?
Yeah, no, no. The balls to the wall, unfortunately. Like it was a bit reckless.
MMA or boxing?
Oh, with Thor boxing, geez,
Okay.
I'd hate to be grappling that lad. I wouldn't,
Yeah,
yeah, but
jeez.
just boxing, just because Thor's actually gotten way better at boxing. Like we were fortunate enough to become good friends out here, because he was training in the MTK gym, and I was with him for his last fight, in the lead up to his last fight, helping him get ready. And he's such a gent, and his boxing actually improved tenfold, but from the time he was out here.
So his level of skill is pretty good for, you know, he's obviously come from a strongman background, and he played a bit of basketball back in his day, but coming into the boxing world, he's got that fight with Eddie Hall. I think it's postponed until next year now. But so he's looking good, is he?
He's really good, man. You know, the thing about him is like he's not in the sport long, and you know, he's just a natural athlete. Like, you know, so to train at any elite sport. So I suppose he transferred everything he learned from that into this sport, and like his improvement. I sparred him like 8 months ago, and then I sparred him maybe last month, and like his improvement was substantial. Like he's gotten much better, and he's got the best of lads like Billy coaching him and everything. So he can legitimately box very well, you know.
Yeah. Who won?
Huh?
Who won?
Between me and Thor.
Yeah.
At one point, I ran between his legs, like, you know what I mean? Like, he was too big.
Good answer.
Yeah.
That must have been great, though. I mean, like, one of the biggest, you know, Game of Thrones, one of the biggest shows in the world, and then, you know, everyone knows the Mountain from Game of Thrones. That must have been really cool.
I'm mad, like I loved Game of Thrones, like I was a big fan of it, like, and like I genuinely thought it was like, you know, you'd have all mad thoughts before you go spar someone for the first time. I was thinking, what if he does just like squash my head with his hands?
Yeah,
Do you know what I
just
mean? Like,
squashes
what if
your
it's
eyes out.
real? Yeah. So, you know, it didn't happen anyway, thankfully. So
And did you
all
get to
good.
hang out with them afterwards at all, or?
Yeah, man, all the time. Like every day I was coaching in that gym. Like Thor was there, and I learned loads from you just learn loads from guys at the top of their field. Like, so he brought me for dinner one day, and I learned loads off him even then about like his approach to training, you know. And it's all the same. It's just consistency and hard work. So it's really good. He's such a cool guy as well. He's so down to earth.
That dinner must have been a hefty price. I'd say that man puts away a few
Man,
burgers.
That's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking was going to happen. Like I thought he was going to kill a cow and put it on the table and start eating it or something like that. Man, I swear in my life he got like a chicken and he got like sweet potato fries or something. And like I got more than him. I thought he'd be eating loads, but not at all. No, he was 200 kg and now he's 155 kg and he's like, oh, I just eat a lot better now. Yeah. Crazy, isn't it? Like
that mental. And so, are there any good stories from you going on nights out with him or anything like that?
No. All good. Keep the head down over here.
Exactly. And so, going from sparring with Conor McGregor to fighting the Russian Conor McGregor, RBMiev. Well, that must have been the perfect lead up to training for that.
Yeah, it was funny. Like it was funny. All right. Only the Russian Conor McGregor by name. Like they're nothing like besides that. But what was funny about that fight was like, say like, you know, I never shit talk or anything like that. And even in the lead up to the fights, my opponents have always been like so respectful. There's never been anything because they've been Irish lads mostly, you know what I mean? And I've always kind of liked them, you know. But RB was like chatting a load and like loads of Russian guys writing to me, and even like at the hotel before the fight, there was a lot like he was trying to make drama and everything. But it was a good experience because, like, you know, I imagine when I go to the bigger stage in the UFC, that stuff's going to happen again. But it was just gas. Like he was just, even before we were walking out, man, he was getting stuck on me, and like it's just wild.
Did you have a run in at the hotel beforehand or anything like that?
I was more just embarrassed by the whole thing because, like, you know, like, I do fighting like. But I wouldn't really be that type, like, you know what I mean? Like say I wouldn't be going head to head with people often. It was more just a bit mortifying, like, you know what I mean? When he's kind of getting stuck on me in the hotel, I was, Jesus, like, is this actually happening? It was felt like I was a bouncer on the door again, and someone was having a go at me. I couldn't believe it, like.
Yeah, and so for anyone watching who doesn't know what we're talking about, it's your last opponent on your debut for UAE Warriors was a Russian guy called RBMiev, and he's, I guess, famously known on social media, I guess, for looking a little bit. He doesn't really look like Conor McGregor, but he looks a little bit like him. But I guess promoting himself as the Russian Conor McGregor, so he's a bit of a lookalike. But it was a bit of a destruction in the cage. Like, you know, you kind of took you pieced him up on the feed and you took him down repeatedly, and the elbows, the elbows that you've told me before that you love to throw, they came out definitely, and you kind of sliced them up a bit. So it was fairly one-way traffic. Do you learn much from a fight like that?
No, like, you know, I kind of like there was a big level difference between me and RB, but I learned loads in the camp. You know, I always think that, like, one thing my coach Aaron McGuire used to say is, like, the prize is only the cherry on top. It's everything you do up before that. You know what I mean? It's what you learn in the camp, the new skills. It was my first time fighting over here. Like, you know, not out of MMA. Like, well, I still represent MMA Cork, but my first time over here, kind of independently out of these gyms. So I learned loads in that camp, and I improved a lot. And then the result was just the result of what happened, you know. So and it was a good experience because, like I said, I had someone shit talking to me and stuff like that, and see how I'd react.
Probably pretty satisfying when you're landing some shots on them after that.
Yeah, geez, that was mental. Like, geez, I haven't seen someone take damage enough like that in a fight maybe ever. Like, you know what I mean? It was crazy.
He seemed to take it well. Like, he was kind of joking at the end, like putting his hand up as if he'd won, and you kind of shared an embrace. So
that lad is mad.
It seemed like you got along well after, did you?
Kinda, like, he was in, like, he went straight. He went to hospital. Like, he was in hospital for like 5 days after, and like I broke his orbital. But like, even when I broke his orbital, he, like, I swear, as I broke it, like, he was like let's go, champ. I was like, this lad is not well, like, you know what I mean? So it was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, anytime I kind of anytime we talk and I've brought up elbows, I always see your face lights up. And I asked this question to James Sheehan recently, and he gave me a very, very kind of honest answer. And it was on the back of watching Nick Diaz interviews, and, you know, he's talking about how he doesn't enjoy fighting at all. And so that's been kind of playing in my mind a lot lately. It's like, do fighters actually enjoy, when they're in there, do they enjoy fighting, or is it just a case of it's just something that they do? So, like, for you, like, when you're in the cage, like do you enjoy the act of fighting?
Genuinely, man, I actually have always said this. I always think I'm lucky compared to people because I genuinely love this, and, like, you know, it makes me, like, relaxed for the fights. Because when I go in there, like, I see in the change room guys that really like it, guys that really don't, and I know that I'm one of them, that I genuinely do just love it. You know what I mean? Like and that makes this all easier because like win, lose or draw, I just so happy to be able to what I get to do in 3 weeks, like, you know what I mean? So I can hand on my heart say I love this shit. Like, I'm never gonna stop. You know what I mean? It's just mad. It's mad that this is what I get to do for a living now. It's the best. Like,
And looking ahead
you know?
to your fight now. So who are you training with? Like you mentioned there, you're still representing MMA Cork. But how will it all work ahead of the fight? Who are you training with out there?
So I'm training at MTK Strong Gym, and like we've a great team out here at the moment, and like the gym's new, but say Munir Laziz is my main sparring partner, and he's like a good fighter in the UFC, obviously an elite level fighter. Then I have like there's a bunch of Kyrgyzstani guys over here at the moment that I train with a lot, like Aziz Sadibaliev, Atabek, Darhan. They're all fighting now soon, and they all have big records, like 10 plus pro fights each. And then Paul Buckley from MMA Cork is living with me for the month. So he's like
Okay.
someone that I trained with me for a long time. And it's great to have that familiar face over here. And then the good thing with you boys, you get a lot of elite level guys floating through. So like we had like Leonardo Domani who just fought in the Contender Series. And I'll be training with him too. So lots of good talent. Like, and then I have Thiago Saws, my jiu-jitsu coach. So I'm spoiled for choice over here. Paul Weir's my boxing coach. He's next world champion. So loads
Yeah,
training
it
partners. It's
sounds
really
like
good.
you've got a great team there, and like obviously
Fantastic.
you were training with MMA Cork and doing a lot of work with Dublin Combat Academy, Collie Madden and the guys there. Will any like who's going to be in your corner on the day of the fight? Will any of your coaches from Ireland be coming out or anything like that?
See, if it was just because of the travel restrictions, Aaron Maguire would be in the corner for like and will be in the corner for the rest of my days. You know what I mean? But because of the travel restrictions, when you go to Dubai, you have to quarantine in Dubai for 2 weeks before you can get into Abu Dhabi, and it's just too much of a commitment for Aaron to take from his gym. But then my two head coaches here, Merv Mulholland and Milano, are going to corner me for this fight. You know, but they're my
Brilliant.
head coaches here, and Aaron's my head coach back home.
Brilliant, because I know so Merv has moved into or has joined up, I guess, with the MTK Strong Gym, has he? Because I know he had his own. I think he had his own gym out there. He's obviously moved out from Northern Ireland, and he was coaching with coaching Jason Kearns as well.
Yeah, yeah. So he's coaching me now at this gym as well, and he's going to be one of the head coaches in the new MTK Strong Gym. The MTK Strong Gym only opened there about 4 weeks ago.
Okay, and are you doing your starting coaching as well out there? Are you?
Yeah. I coach out here as well. So like I fight and I coach, and that's my job at the moment.
Brilliant. And then so I guess looking towards the actual fight. So what are your thoughts on Konstantinos Ntelis? Have you seen much footage of him? He looks like he's a bit of a slick grappler. But what are your thoughts on him?
Yeah, he's already it seems like the next step in my career. Like, you know, he's good record. He's 6-1. I think he's a brown belt or a purple belt, or maybe he's a black belt. I don't look at him too much. You know what I mean? I just go and hammer him. I have a fairly good idea of what I'm going to do. It'll be a good scrap, I'd say. Like, he's young and he's good experience and he seems game. So, but you know yourself, the cliche answer is like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'll smash
no,
him.
no. I appreciate the confidence. And
Yeah.
like I noticed, like he's about 7 foot. Like he's the most experienced fighter you faced to date, but he's only 20 years old. Like I know you're not long in the tooth or anything like that yourself, but you know you've a bit more, I guess, maturity and experience in life than him. Like when you think back to when you were 20, is there a big difference between you now and you then?
Oh man, yeah, and like you know, like he's 6-1 as a pro, but that's because he's like two amateur fights. Like I was 6-1, like and who's he fighting and all this stuff. That's what you have to think about. This the standard in Ireland is very high. I was 6-1 when I was 21. You know what I mean? I was 10-3 when I was like 24, 23. You know, it's different. Like you know what I mean? Like you always that's a great thing with Ireland. Like we've got such a good amateur platform. That like say I finished as 11-3 as an amateur with loads of Thai boxing and boxing fights behind that. Like so if you're 6, like you're very very high up. If you're 6-1 in Ireland, it's quite hard to get to that. You know what I mean? So I feel like the standard's different over there, and I think it's going to show in the night. You know.
Absolutely. And when you were based in Ireland, the plan was Cage Warriors and then on to the UFC. Now that you're out in Dubai and you're getting fights in with UAE Warriors. Is that still the plan? Are you still looking towards the UFC? Is that your ultimate end goal?
Yeah, absolutely. The UFC is the goal. The UFC is the goal.
And
100%.
Did I hear that there may be a special guest at your fight?
I actually don't know if that's true or not. Like, but maybe Dana White is going to it. Like, because the UFC's the day before. But
okay. So allegedly, we're not. Allegedly, he may be there. Allegedly.
Yeah, and I actually don't even know myself. I tell you, like, you know what I mean. I'll be the first to tell you. Trust me. But hopefully he does go, and hopefully he's fond of an old elbow or two.
Exactly. Just don't shoot for a takedown with 10 seconds left, then you'll be grand.
No way.
Yeah.
No, for sure not. Like, well warranted.
John, I really appreciate the time. One last thing, and we'll do, as we've done many cliche things, what's your prediction for the fight?
I'm going to win. But I actually don't know how yet. I feel like it'll happen on the night. Like, I think it could be a surprise to myself even.
Okay. Well, what's your favorite way to win then?
Elbow the head off until he stops. If I had to pick one, you know what I mean? Just like the last one.
Put it bluntly like that. Elbow the head off him. Yeah, that'd be grand.
Yeah. Sounds like a plan.
Sounds like, well, John, best of luck with everything. Best of luck with the rest of your camp. So we're 19 days out now from your fight. So against Konstantinos Ntelis on UAE Warriors 24 on Friday, October 29th. John, it's been an absolute pleasure. I always enjoy chatting to you. And yeah, I hope you have a great time out in Dubai. It seems like you're having a great life out there. So long may it continue.
Yeah, it's all good.
Very jealous of the weather you're getting. And if there's any, we'll put up your social media handles. You have a terrible Twitter name, so we'll have to get that changed at some point. But anyone you want to give a shout out to, sponsors or anything like that?
Oh yeah, geez, I do, and I'll tag them all in this post because I don't want to forget anyone now. You know what I mean? But definitely loads of good sponsors. I'm very grateful for, and MMA Cork and MTK Strong MMA. So all them.
Perfect, John. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks everyone for watching. If you like the video, like, subscribe, all that stuff. It helps the channel. It helps SevereMMA. So and make sure to check out John's fight on October 29th. We'll put up all the details as we get closer to the time. UAE Warriors usually have a stream for these things, so I'm sure it'll be up somewhere. But we'll push the information out. So John, best of luck. Thanks for the time today, and I'll chat to you again.